Welcome to Mock Draft Mondays, and what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. The draft order is the current draft order going into Monday Night Football, and we're going to have fun with this one. We're going to do some trades. If you want a 7-round mock draft, I did that last week, so go check that out. But let's go ahead, get into this sucker, and we're going to do a trade at number 1 overall, because we got the Cardinals here, and let's say the Cardinals are bought in, sold on Kyler Murray, and we're going to look for a trade partner. As you can see, the draft order here, we could do the Giants, the Patriots, we could do the Packers, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Buccaneers. It could be anybody, but Giants here, they're fairly close. I'm going to go ahead and do a trade with them. Might be like, well, what, the Giants, if they think the Cardinals aren't going to go take a quarterback first overall, they could get quarterback 2 in this class. It's like, no, then someone else will move up. If you like a quarterback in this class, go and get him. And I think they're going to do that. Or at least I think they would do that in this scenario, in this situation. So we're going to do a trade with that. And if anything, this gives, like, if things don't work out with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, this gives the Cardinals extra draft capital moving forward in the future to go make a move on a quarterback in another class. So everybody's happy. So it's probably going to cost a couple of first-round picks. This is going to be kind of off-screen, but listen to my voice. Listen to what I'm doing. So this is going to be at the very least 2 first-round picks, maybe a third. Maybe they throw like a day 2-1 in there. But I'm going to trade a player along with this. And that player is going to be Evan Neal. I think makes the most sense, both for the Cardinals and for the Giants. Giants haven't really gotten a good play out of Evan Neal. Cardinals, they go ahead, they snag him, and it just gives them a young player on that offensive line and hope that he figures it out before his rookie deal is through. So we're going to go ahead and force that trade through. It's beautiful. And we're going to start the draft where Brian Daboll gets his quarterback of the future in Caleb Williams. There we go. Now we have the Chicago Bears. I'm going to just, if they're picking this high, which they likely will with Carolina's pick, but they're currently also 3rd overall. So it's not like the team's done well. Maybe they just move on from Justin Fields, get what they can from him. And I think if they do that, what they get from Fields, it's not going to be a first round in this class. Maybe in 2025, but even then, it's probably going to be like a conditional day 2 pick that could turn into a first round pick. Maybe. So I'm not going to worry about a Justin Fields trade in this mock draft. Instead, I'm going to go ahead, take Drake Maye. I know Bears fans. Oh no, Mitch Trubisky 2.0. I promise you, it's not the same. I hope. Because we're going to pair him up with Marvin Harrison Jr. You get your franchise quarterback, you get him a franchise weapon. Fun fact, DJ Moore's also on the squad, which now leaves the Cardinals in a very good position. We're going to go, basically, we were going to take whoever the Bears didn't take in terms of non-quarterback prospects. So we were either going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. or we were going to get Fashanu. You might be like, well, didn't you just get Evan Neal? We're going to move Evan Neal to guard. We're going to have Olu at left tackle, Paris Johnson at right, and then at one of our guard spots, we're going to have Fashanu, which means we're here with the Patriots, and maybe they sign a Kirk Cousins coming off of injury. Maybe they get involved in the Justin Fields sweepstakes, or maybe they're like, okay, Mac, you got 1 year. We're going to get you some protection, or we're going to get you a playmaker, and we're going to hope things work out. In this case, we're going to get him protection. We're going to go with Joe Alt to be the left tackle of the future for the New England Patriots. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. When you use promo code Broshmo at Underdog Fantasy, they will match that first deposit up to $100 dues. It's the best place to play weekly best ball or my favorite higher or lower on player prop bets. Some of Gojo's favorite picks for Monday Night Football. He's currently got Devontae Adams higher than 6 receptions. Jared Goff higher than 20 fantasy points. Aiden Hutchinson higher than a half a sack. Jameson Williams higher than 24.5 receiving yards, but he does have Josh Jacobs lower than 63.5 rushing yards. Sorry, Josh Jacob owners in fantasy. Lions got a really good run defense. But as always, please bet responsibly. This Packers pick was extremely hard. It truly was. Because at first I was looking at trades. I don't think it had made sense for any team to move up here. So I got stuck picking. I was like, okay, maybe we could go with the scenario. They don't bring back Rashawn Gary, which I think would be foolish. So what can we do? Maybe just take the best player available, honestly. You can maybe swing on one of like an Armarius Mims or a Fuaga or a JC Latham, but those guys have mainly played right tackle their whole careers. At the very least, that's true for Mims and Fuaga. So instead, I'm just gonna go with stinking Jared Verse. Jared Verse, great game this past week against Wake Forest. I'll talk about him in the stock report. And yeah, man, we're just gonna take the best player available and hope it works out. Colts, I thought this was fun. Steichen, you're gonna be like, oh man, I would love to get a sweet tight end. Like, of course, the receivers come to mind, but I've done that quite a bit last couple of mock drafts. I think here I'm gonna just go ahead and take Brock Bowers, Jelani Woods. He'll be our tight end 2. You got a solid tight end 3 and Mo Alley Cox, and Kylan Granson's more of a big slot. So we're just gonna get more weapons for Anthony Richardson. I think that makes the most sense. I think that's the most fun as well. Sean Payton, I think he's blowing things up. But I'm not taking quarterback 3 here. I think Jerry Jeudy maybe gets moved. Cortland Sutton maybe gets moved. Guaranteed at least one of those options I think are getting moved. If not at the trade deadline, it will happen, I think, in the offseason. So I'm going to go ahead and take the next wide receiver off the board. I'm going to take Keon Coleman, who has been a monster this season. And Sean Payton's going to get his Michael Thomas. Everybody wins. All right, we got the Rams, pick 9 here. And I would love to get offensive line help, but again, like the one solid player they have on their offensive line is Rob Havenstein, who is a right tackle. And so you're looking for left tackle. Do you want to switch one of these young tackles the opposite side? Maybe not. I think it was just probably better to get more defensive line help. And I ultimately ended up going with Dallas Turner here. Maybe the neck injury with Latu Latu from a couple of years ago scares some teams off from him going in the top 10. Now we have the Washington Commanders. And oh buddy, I almost feel I really don't know what's gonna go on between Chase Young, Montez Sweat. Do they move one? I have no clue. Your best guess is as good as mine. But I know they would love to get offensive tackle help, and that's what we're gonna do. I mean, that probably means we're switching one of these guys over to left tackle. And I think that's fine. I'm going to go with Armarius Mims. He did not return this week against Florida, but he should be back in the next couple of weeks. He comes back, returns against Mizzou this week. We'll see. But I think Mims has a chance to get in the top tackle discussion once he returns. He was that good during the playoffs last season. Now we have the Arizona Cardinals, and this pick has to be defense. BJ Ojolari's really emerged the last couple of weeks as some pass rush off the edge, and I think getting interior help would be great. And I do think Jerzon Newton can be a top 10 player in this class. He has been that good. He's also a very good run stuffer. Bam, we got him. I love it. Oh, this Raiders pick was tough. I really wanted to go quarterback, and I was between I got Jimmy G. You could ride Jimmy G another year and just go with the young gun, and it would be JJ McCarthy at this point. Quentin Ewers, I don't think is shown enough to be a first rounder. Shadur, is he staying? Is he going? Who knows? Who knows? A lot of people think, oh, well, Dion said he's staying. So he might be staying. Feelings change. But I think ultimately I'm just like, this defense is dog water. Let's get more help for the defense. My top corner is still on the board. I'm going to grab Kool-Aid McKinstry. However, for the Bucks right here, I did not have a similar feeling. I didn't. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of talent on this squad right now. Baker's played some good football. So I could be persuaded off quarterback if I want to go maybe tackle, like right tackle. So Godecki's played all right there. You could talk me into one of the wide receivers. We still got Malik Neighbors and Odunze still on the board. But I think I'm just going to go with Bo Nix. Like, he's plug and play at this point, and you're kind of hoping he's an upgrade over Baker Mayfield. I mean, this is a team, again, with already a lot of talent, and if they get that plug and play started at quarterback, it elevates the squad. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only $30 by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. Chargers, I kind of had a difficult time with this. I really did. I thought Cam Kitchens, that's always the fun pick here. But I think just getting more corner help. And I mean, Cooper Jean, honestly, he's so versatile that he could play slot, he could play safety, and you'd feel okay about it. He brings return capabilities. They got Darius Davis for that. Regardless, we're going with Cooper DeJean. Tennessee Titans, Will Levis had himself a day. The offense looked good. It looked really good. And you know what's going to help make that offense look better? Competent play from the offensive line. And I'm looking at and I'm so happy that I have right tackles available to me. So I'm going to go ahead and snag Telenisa Uaga out of Oregon State, playing some really good football. This is a Mike Vrabel pick if I've ever seen one. Oh, the Saints. Let me say it two more times. The Saints. Do I go quarterback? I mean, Derek Carr with his contract, I don't know if they can get out of it at a year one. I mean, I could look it up, but let's say they stick with Derek Carr, because then it becomes a much more difficult decision. And I kind of like this pick. I'm actually going to go with defensive help. They've been missing having a Marcus Williams type of just freelancer center fielder. I'm going to go with Cam Kitchens. Marcus Maye, very versatile safety. You could play more in the box if you want him. He could play in the slot. Gives you that flexibility, but he's not the caliber of center fielder that a Kitchens is. And now here we are, the New York Jets. And I mean, I feel like the tackle class after this pick, we get this nice little tier drop. So we might as well send it, grab a tackle. Tackle's kind of the obvious pick for the Jets right now. And that would mean it's J.C. Latham. All right, we're killing it, dude. We're making good time. All right, we got the Bengals. T. Higgins is a free agent, so wide receiver just kind of sticks out. Tackle would be a consideration. JC just goes off the board, so we talk about that drop in tier in terms of the tackle competition, and we still have some very good wide receivers left on the board. Odunze, which would be a really good replacement for T. Higgins. But Tyler Boyd's also a free agent. And you get a Malik Neighbors, who is just so good after the catch, to come in there. He can play slot. He can play on the outside. I think that's fun. And I mean, yeah, give Joe Burrow more LSU receivers. Why not? So we're going to go with Malik Willis in this instance. Oh, the Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Ridder, he got benched this week. Arthur Smith came out and said it wasn't performance-based. I don't know why you bench him then. I don't know. But I think you just go ahead and you go ahead and push for that next quarterback. I mean, that's kind of good for the Vikings because they could basically take the quarterback that we don't take here. So do we want Michael Penix? I think Arthur Smith's going to want a more mobile quarterback. Not to say that Penix isn't mobile, but he's a guy that much rather be a pocket passer than use his feet. And JJ McCarthy, who is the young gun in here. Again, Quinn Ewers. I kind of already talked about that, but it's kind of JJ McCarthy. We're just kind of waiting and looking to see how he plays against like the Penn States and Ohio States. So we're going to go ahead and snag JJ McCarthy for the Atlanta Falcons, which means we're going to go ahead and take Michael Penix for the Minnesota Vikings, who are now unfortunately down Kirk Cousins after the season-ending injury. Where the heck are you, Michael Penix? There you are. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. I could just go ahead and send it here, take a corner, or I could trade back. Because I like the corners on the board, and I think if I trade back a little bit, they'll still be here. You could make a case for Odunze, and I think that would be fun. But I like the idea of a trade here. I'm going to trade with the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be similar value to the Ravens. Bills trade. Ironically, Bills were involved. The Bills moved up to get Kyer Elam. So we're going to swap 21 and 24. And we're going to go ahead and throw in 124. I think the Bills gave up last time to move up from 25 to 23. They gave up 130. So it's in the ballpark of the same range. So we're going to go ahead, send that trade through. Bills are now on the clock. Gabe Davis is a free agent. We're going to just keep getting more weapons. Odunze could have went much earlier. I like him as a replacement. Let's go. Let's send it. Now, I have done a lot of Emeka Ibuka to reunite with Stroud. I think I'm going to go to the defense. I'm going to get another pass rusher to get in that rotation with Will Anderson and Jonathan Bernard. And I'm going to take the shot on Latu, hoping neck injury is a thing of the past. Which means we're here with the San Francisco 49ers. Again, I talked about how the tackle class, the tier drops off. I don't think there is a first round interior player. You can make a case for Graham Barton, but he doesn't really bring the power that Shanahan has kind of been incorporating in the offense. So instead, I'm going to look at getting more depth at corner. I'm going to take Nate Wiggins, who I think has really helped his stock this season, which is great. I'm here with the Steelers. I could take Kalen King, reunite him with Joey Porter Jr., and feel great about it. So we'll do it. Which now means, man, I'm sitting here with the Detroit Lions. I could take that next tier, that next group of corners. I could grab Chop as a pass rusher to play opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. I think probably, though, I could just trade back and hope to get value a little bit later. And I think that's what I'm going to do. We've seen the Chiefs trade up in the past and go get players that they want. And I think there's a player that they would love to have on their roster here. So I'm going to have the Chiefs. This is going to be similar to when the Chiefs moved up for Trent McDuffie. They went from, I think, 31 to 21? Something like that. I'm not going to give up nearly as much. I am going to throw this. Let's say this fourth round. I think let's say this third rounder. Let's go with this fourth rounder. And I think this would be a fifth rounder. I think pick 94 might have to be included. And so I'll move this to here. So we're gonna have the Chiefs move up, and they're gonna take Emeka Egbuka. They get this saucy route runner who would just be a wonderful addition. Get more weapons for Patrick Mahomes and hope they work out. The Dallas Cowboys, this one was kind of tough. Ultimately, I settled on getting a replace. I imagine they're gonna have to cut some contracts, so I could see Michael Gallup, I could see Brandon Cooks going. So I'm gonna take AD Mitchell here to get a little bit cheaper, get some guys on rookie deals, and hope you're not losing too much from those guys, those veteran bodies. Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of a no-brainer. Add in more help. Josh Allen's a free agent. If they bring him back, they probably want to add more pass rush help. The defense has been really good as of late, but I'm going to snag Chop. Really good value here. We're here with the Baltimore Ravens. You could go with that next tier of corner. I considered it. You could go with like a JT Tuimoloau. You could go with Braylon Trice, who's coming off a really big game against Stanford. 16 pressures in that game. Kind of nuts, kind of wild. But you got Justin Matabuke, who is in a contract year, and he's having a pretty solid year. Don't know if they bring him back. Maybe we just replace him with another penetrator. Leonard Taylor. The Ravens, they love you. They love you. Seattle Seahawks. I'm also going to stay put at this pick. I wish they had Riley Mills in here at Notre Dame. They got Howard Cross, but they don't have Riley Mills in here. I think that's kind of funny. But I'm going to stick with the interior class, get them more beef in the middle, and I'm going to go with Chris Jenkins. Which now leads me to my Dolphins. Fins up, baby. And I would love this pick to be offensive line. I've been banging the table for the Dolphins to get more offensive line talent. And this is actually where Graham Barton actually becomes very sexy to me. First, he's a great scheme fit for a wide zone blocking scheme. He can play literally all 5 positions, whether you want him at center, guard, or tackle, which is great because we are banged up. We are hurting on the offensive line. So having a guy that could literally play wherever is so nice. The Detroit Lions, we're next on the clock with this pick. We are going to take that next tier of corner. It's kind of why I traded down. I wanted to take that next tier of corner up here. Instead, I figured I could have waited and took him a little later. Don't worry, Lions fans, I'm not going to give you another Ohio State corner, though I think Burke probably would be the next guy on my board. So I'm going to go with Kamari Lassiter. Be a great fit for Aaron Glenn's defense there. And with the last pick of this draft, Philadelphia Eagles, team that loves to let talent come to them. They just draft the best player off the board. I would go JT Tuimoloau, but I want to give a little love to Braylon Trice. Dude had 16 pressures and I think 3 sacks against Stanford. He just had a bonkers game. Maybe this is the breakout game and he just goes off the rest of the season. Brandon Graham, he's likely not long for the team. So there we have it. First round mock draft with a ton of trades. Here, let me make this a little smaller. We'll kind of take a quick little gander at it and go ahead. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.